No matter what you expect this movie to be when you press play, you are going to be disappointed. According to IMDb, it is a romantic gangster comedy. It's certainly possible to blend romantic comedy with other genres, and sometimes the result can be a fantastic film. This is not the case with Gigli. It clumsily forces the different genres together, and each one takes time away from the others, meaning that none of them is satisfying at all. Let's look at these three genres. If you thought Gigli was going to be a romantic film, you will be disappointed because the two leads have no chemistry, spend most of the film yelling at each other, and it gives us the somewhat offensive notion that lesbians are really only lesbians until they meet a hot guy and then switch to being straight after 2 or 3 days. If you thought this movie was going to have an interesting crime storyline, you will be disappointed because the crime aspects are riddled with plot holes and really just a stupid premise overall. If you thought this was going to be a comedy, black comedy or romantic comedy, whatever, you will be disappointed and likely offended at the horrible depths this movie will go to try and make you laugh.
Remember when we referred to other drafts of the script for this movie? We weren't making that up. Gigli did go through gigantic rewrites, starting out more as a black crime comedy. No, not like that. If you look at the movie as a black crime comedy, you can see little bits peeking out that would have worked in a film like that. But typical Hollywood money grubbers wanted to cash in on the benefit craze that was sweeping the nation in 2003, and so they hijacked this movie and forced in the romance plot. This is symptomatic of the overall problem of this film. Here it is, the one reason this movie sucks so much. We didn't tell you before because we figured you'd turn off this review. So, here it is. The reason that Gigli is easily one of the worst movies ever is that, in almost every aspect of the film, it tries to have it both ways. Sure, if you're spending the night in bed with a really open and trusting girl, you probably can have it both ways. But this can kill a film because it will leave the audience not knowing what to think. Let's look at a few examples of how Gigli tries to have it both ways. First of all, Larry. He's an asshole who pretty much has nothing likable about him, but he's also supposed to be the romantic lead who we're expected to root for and hope he gets with the girl. These two things are incompatible, but the movie just crams them in there, and the result, utter failure.
Let's look at Ricky. Ricky's character is not so much trying to have it both ways as it is trying to have it 14 ways. She has no depth because she's all over the place and just takes on whatever personality the movie needs her to have at any given moment. When we need her to be a tough gangster and threaten to kill people, she is, but suddenly she's squeamish simply because the movie needs her to be. And then there's Brian, who mostly is just used as a pathetic excuse for comic relief. A word on that. Let's take a well-received portrayal of a mentally challenged person. Let's look at Forrest Gump. Both the writing and the portrayal in Forrest Gump had completely unswerving respect for the character. We laughed with Forrest and not at him. Brian, on the other hand, is meant to just be a spectacle for us to get cheap laughs out of. First of all, do we even need to say anymore how offensive this is? And second, it's not funny unless you're in a junior high locker room. Dude, like he's so retarded. But then, of course, at certain moments in the film, we're meant to feel for Brian and empathize with him. It doesn't work like that. You can't make a character the butt of every cheap laugh in a film and then expect us to care about him.
Some people defend this movie by saying that if it had been a quiet, little artsy movie and not marketed as a big romantic comedy, it wouldn't have gotten all that negative press. This may be true, but this does not change the fact that the script has callous attitudes towards women, homosexuality, and mental illness. It has caused irreparable damage to many across America.
Tell us your name.
My name is Aaron.
And Aaron, what did Gigli do to you?
Well, I'd heard Gigli. I'd heard of Gigli before, and I hadn't seen it, but I'd heard rumors, and I was a little interested, and I was over at my girlfriend's, and we were sitting on her bed, and I mentioned it to her, and she said, "Oh, I have Gigli right here. Let me go get it." And I waited there, and she came back with Gigli, and oh God, oh God. Gigli. I don't want to talk about it.
please tell us something.
That movie should be locked away. That movie should never have existed. I'm not going to be the same after that. It's you can't come back from that. It took my innocence. Turn the camera off.
It is an insult to the art of film and to the intelligence of anyone who sees it. For a laugh, find the trailer and watch it. You will see how this does not fit the movie at all, and was trying to fool audiences into seeing a completely different movie. Furthermore, it expects us to not notice how truly offensive it is. It takes your $8 at the box office and then snickers that you actually fell for it. But hopefully, thanks to this review, no one will ever have to fall for it again.
Wow, the ending of our first review. What do you think about that, Aaron?
It's something to behold. I want to remember this moment forever.
Well, I definitely don't want to remember Gigli forever.
Good God, no. I almost drank bleach a couple times.
I mean, it was bad, but I think I'm glad that people out there are really going to know, how bad this movie is, and I think we did a pretty good job.
I don't think anyone could have done better.
But there is a problem, because, see, we have to pick the next movie that we want to, big awful movie that we want to analyze and review. I don't know what we should pick. There's so many awful movies out there.
Oh, there's got to be a, like a list or something.
If only we had some kind of sign.
Ah! What'd you do that for?
Well, I pushed you.
And I fell. Why?
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to see what it would look like if you fell over on the floor.
I'm not okay with that. I'll have my revenge on you.
Wait. Say that again.
I'll have my revenge on you.
Does that mean you would have the revenge of the fallen?